In this video, we're going to talk about SEO, how Google is changing, what you need to know to make sure that your websites are ranking. This is super important, so you won't want to miss this video because there's so much misinformation out there. I hate using that word, but there's so much information out there that just is not really true, or it's very, what do you call it? Like, I don't know what I call hopeful faith in Google. So I just wanted to go through a few things. I know I have a lot of videos in my SEO playlist for you that will show you what you need to do to set up your topical authority, which you need on your website. That will show you how to do your keyword research. I have specific niche, specific topics also that I like to cover. I am doing an entire case study on a real estate website, and I'm so excited about the results. So you might want to make sure that you watch those videos. They'll be in the description here. And also you can see them when I, in here when I'm, I don't know, hopefully they're up here. Hopefully I put them up there for you to watch. I give you an overview, a template overview of what the flow and structure of your website should be like. And it's the exact same flow that I am following. I started a brand new website in Utah County, homes for sale, in that niche in real estate. So I do have, if you're not a real estate agent, you're not going to be able to do this. Hopefully you won't, because of the fact that you can't make money, you cannot refer, you cannot get real estate leads and then refer them to realtors and get paid for that, because that's illegal in almost every single state in the United States. I don't know about all the other countries, but I'm speaking about the United States. So don't have people talk you into starting real estate niche sites where you're going to get paid for referrals and leads. It's just, that's not going to happen, or you shouldn't let that happen. It's extremely unethical for gurus to teach you that system. And I've been in classes where they have taught people that, and I've called them out on that, showed them the laws regarding that in the states that they are trying to sell this system, their systems in. So you want to be careful with that. So choose a niche that where you can make good affiliate fees, good referral fees. If you want to be in that financial industry space, like real estate, financial, insurance and stuff, then make sure you look up the laws to see how you can get those leads. So for instance, if you're in a finances niche and you're going to start a financial blog about how to save money and how to pay off your debt, for instance, you can make really good commissions from banks that are doing credit cards, and that is ethical, and you are allowed to get paid for selling, having people click on an ad to a credit card. The other thing you can do is also monetize those sites with generic ads and targeted ads, which is something you can do as well in those kind of spaces. Just remember, those are really, really hard spaces to get into. Whenever you watch a YouTube video or go to a blog or an event or whatever, and people always, the number one thing people ask is, what are the top niches to get into? What are the niches that I can get into where I can actually monetize my blog, my YouTube channel, my Instagram pages, right? What is it, my Facebook marketing? What is it that I can do? And then they're going to give you those top niches, like which ones make the most money, for instance. And they're going to give you the top niches. But guess what? Most of those top niches, so the top niches right off the bat are, number one is finance. Number two is luxury. Number three is travel. No, I'm sorry. Financial space, and that covers, we're talking all of these things that we just talked about. So financial space is your insurance, saving money, spending money, Dave Ramsey stuff. It's real estate, it's health insurance. I'm sorry, not health insurance. That's the other one. Car insurance, things like that. That's your financial space. So another one in there is going to be health. So you have finances, you have health, and you have, personal relationships. So like dating, and then parenting niche. So these are all niches, and then recipes, right? So I gave you a list as like the top 7 or 8 right there. The problem is all of those are YMYL spaces right now. So number 2, they're super, super competitive. If you want to do a blog, let's say on diabetes, for instance, do you think that Google is ever going to put your website above WebMD? Give me a break. Do you think you'll ever get, if the top 3 spaces for diabetes questions and diabetes information are WebMD, Yale, Harvard, Cleveland Clinic, if those are the ones, just ask yourself, Healthline, just ask yourself, are you better than those? Do you think Google would like your content better than those authority sites? We consider those high domain authority sites. Who do you think Google's going to put in the top 10 positions? Do you think you're going to get there? I don't think so. Even if it's about your own journey with diabetes. Now, can you make a website about it? Sure. Where do you think you could get traffic to that website from and not depend on Google, right? So for something like diabetes, and you want to share your journey and how you got over diabetes naturally through eating good foods and not eating sugar, how you got off of insulin, all these really cool things that people do, how would you be able to, number one, build on that, share that story, and monetize it? And how you're going to do that is through social media and probably YouTube, because WebMD is not that much on YouTube, right? So you're going to have spaces like social media where you can gain a following on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, start a group on Facebook about diabetes, and then sell a course or sell your ebooks, whatever it is, but and then you bring them to your website. So that's called direct traffic, when you're bringing somebody from somewhere else, or that's referral traffic to Google. But if you tell them, then to me, that's considered direct traffic, right? So that's what Google calls referral traffic. The other thing is when you meet people in person and you go do events like at a Chamber of Commerce, or let's say you go to a health fair and you have a booth and you're giving people your website address, that's direct traffic. So whenever somebody types your web address into Google search, Google loves that. That's like the number one thing to prove to Google that, number one, you cover EAT. Number two, that you are a human. And number three, that you're credible and trustworthy, etc. So you're covering all the EAT in the YMYL space. So the more you can get people to actually type the name of your website into Google search, the better. That's the number one method that Google uses for your, reputation and trustworthiness. Make sure you're asking people to do that. So I make business cards. So I have a website about our town, and it's about Provo, and there's no real estate on that. It's an entire process that I teach and sell for other people who want to do this for their communities. So it could be real estate agents, it could be insurance agents, mortgage brokers, anyone like that, to build goodwill in their community. This style of website called movetoprovoutah.com, if you want to go see it. I have all the events. We have an entire page of events. We have an events calendar. We have all the restaurant reviews that I personally went to the restaurant myself, take the pictures myself. I start the review, and then I have my VAs finish the reviews. I go to places, and when we go to the escape room, we do the write-ups, and we try to do a lot of the local businesses, and we have a whole page for Shop Local. So it's a huge community, and now we're just starting a news section. So any good news that comes out, we're going to start to repurpose that and rewrite it and put it on our news, what's happening page on this website. So that's new and upcoming category that I'm working on. So what I did was I went to Canva and created business cards just for that website. And I pass them out wherever I go. Hey, you wanted the best restaurant reviews in Provo? Here you go. Because they're going to have to go to Google, and they're going to take that business card and they're going to type in the domain URL. And that's what I'm trying to build, is that authority. That site I'm planning to monetize with ad spots, selling them to local businesses. Once I have enough traffic, then I will promote to the local businesses and restaurants and things like that, venues, to see if they want to buy a spot on our website. And also we'll put my site on Ezoic and promote and use regular Google ads on there. So that's one style of a website, right? Let's go back to the other one. That's how you can get direct traffic, direct domain traffic. The next one that I want to talk to you about is your main website. So we're going to go back to this real estate website that I'm doing. And so you have this umbrella of the website, which is, for mine, it's Utah County Homes for Sale. That is the main topic of that. Well, Zillow owns Realtor.com, Redfin, Movoto, all those big websites, they'll take the top positions for those sites. So it's not the greatest topic for me to cover, right? However, it has to be there because of topical authority. This is the one thing, and you need to really, really understand this when you're hearing people say, oh, just spit out your pillar posts in ChatGTP and Article Fiesta. And yes, I love using all those tools, and I use all those AI tools, but you still need to go in there and use yourself, your personal experience, your personal touch, adding it all into it. Now, Article Fiesta is really good at using your name and things like that. So I have a link below for Article Fiesta, which is the one that I like to use the most because it does have that really great personal connection type of feature in their AI writer. But the thing is that you still have to go in and check it, especially if it's in a topic like real estate. So now if you're doing cats, it's okay. If you make a little mistake, you're not going to get sued, most likely, hopefully not. Make sure you have a hold harmless clause on your website. But on my cat site, so I have a cat site. Actually, I have 2 or 3 cat sites. So on the cat sites, I still need, it's a YMYL space still, because people spend so much money on their pets. So Google has now moved, they didn't used to have them in that space, but now they put them in YMYL. So now I have to cover EAT a lot better. When I'm building those kinds of sites, I can do a lot more with AI because I don't need to, I just need to make sure they know my cat's names. The AI knows my cat's names, use it correctly, use his and hers correctly. And those are simple things. And so it's super simple to write AI content for a topic like that. But if we go back to real estate, guess what? ChatGTP is only good until 2021. So if you tell it to write about a town's market, and it's going to write about the market report and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be way off because it can only go up to 2021. It's not going to give you current information. Now you can get a little bit better from Bard, but you're still not going to get what you can get from the multiple listing service, all right, or from IDX Broker. Now, if you have a real estate website, I highly recommend that you're either using your KV Core in there, which does not help you with SEO, by the way, except for keeping people on the page. But number 2, I really highly suggest, and I am an IDX Broker affiliate and a developer, approved developer by them. So I do want you to use IDX Broker on your website because you can create these really cool maps on your pages that far outbeat Zillow and Realtor.com. And as far as user experience, so as people get to know you and as your traffic increases, people are going to stay on your site a lot longer because they're going to be using those maps and polygons and figuring out their area. It's really, really cool. I am going to be adding those to my website so you can go and see them. I will let you know by doing another video on it once those are completed. So if we go back to the Utah County homes for sale, that would be considered a big pillar post. My pillar post that's Utah County homes for sale is over 6,000 words long, okay? I had to reach a score. There's domain scores that are given. So Zillow is like at an 72 or 73, very high. I have to beat that score in order to beat Zillow, but I still probably won't beat Zillow because even if I can beat them in the score, Google still doesn't know who I am compared to Zillow. They know who Zillow is. They love Zillow. Zillow spends hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in ads on Google, so Google loves them. They don't love me. It's just the way it is. So I wrote the whole entire post. Now, I didn't use my VAs for this part because I wanted to time it all and tell you how long. I'm not lying to you like all these other people do on YouTube. I'm sorry, but I just get so upset when I go to these. I watch a lot of these YouTube videos and from really good respectable gurus, and they're saying, oh, you do it in this, you can write 200 articles by AI in 30 minutes. Not true. Yes, you can write a bunch of crappy ones that are never going to rank, sure. So what I did was I did it all myself so I could see the entire process. That's including me taking my own photos, which I always do. Another Google ranking factor, please watch my video on why you should take your own photos and why they should be original and how that's going to help you with your SEO tremendously because Google loves original photos. I also go through SVG files and other things on that video. So make sure you look for the Google image SEO video that I did. when I go through this, and then I did my own graphs on ChatGTP. I have plugins. I use ChatGTP 4. I paid $21 a month for it, and I installed ChatGTP plugins, which were, one of them's called Mermaid, one of them's called Graph Construction or something like that. But anyway, there's 3 graph ones that I use. And Mermaid, they seem to pull, ChatGTP seems to pull from Mermaid a lot. It'll make flowcharts for you and all that. So I do that, right? So that's my graphs, and then I use AI, Midjourney and Leonardo to create images that I need, that I don't want to pick a stock photo for. So then I create my own in AI. Then I also go in and search in Google and Wiki Commons, where you have to attribute the author. Now that's not going to be an original photo because you're not supposed to, but I have to give credit back to the photographer. But a lot of times for like C's, like I had one that I wanted of BYU, and I can't seem to get a picture myself of one I like, and I don't want to use theirs because they have copyrights on them, so I can't use BYU's. So I went into Wiki Commons, which is your Creative Commons license, and I found somebody who took a gorgeous picture that I wanted to use. And so I just said, I used the picture, I retitled it, re-alt image tagged it, and then in the bottom I credited back and linked back to the photographer. That's how you're supposed to do that, but only if it's a Creative Commons license that you can do that with, and it's okay to use for commercial use. So again, remember, you can't use just any image on the internet. Please watch my video about that. I have a whole video, 2 videos actually, on copyright and how to, and one on copyright. It's a long video, but you need to watch it to understand it if you don't know a lot about copyright laws on the internet for using images on the internet. And the other video that I have is about, and I don't know, I might not have uploaded yet, but I will. It should be there by the time you watch this, hopefully. And it's about how to find the correct licensed logos and photos, like for social media. So for Instagram and Facebook, you can't just use what they're selling you on different design sites. Those are all violations of the terms of use for those social media platforms. Now, it's highly doubtful they're going to come after you and sue you for it, but why take a chance? I have a video about that. So I did that. I also went into my MLS, got all the data. I went into my county board of realtors and logged in, and I got market reports, snapshots of those. I went into our KV course site and did some searches, made screenshots of those searches because I don't have my IDX installed yet. I'll replace some of these with IDX Broker once I have it all. I just got approved, takes a few days, and then of course I have to have the time to go in there and add all that data to that page. I did all of that, and then I wrote, I chose that article, and I have a whole process on how I did that, but I put it into 3 different AI writers. I created my outline in Bard and in ChatGTP. Then I use my own noggin up here, my own heart, my own gut intuition of what I know that buyers and sellers want, what I know that Google wants, and how to marry those all together. And so that's very important to understand and know your niche. Okay, so I know it very well. For over 40 years, I've been a real estate agent. In the past 20 years, I have been, 20 plus years, I've been an SEO consultant, and I've owned a virtual assistant company for the past 7 years. So I do know this stuff that I'm talking about. I'm not sugarcoating anything for you. I did this whole entire pillar post with the assumption, okay, this is very important for you to understand, with the assumption and the expectation that this page will never even rank on Google. Like, it'll get indexed maybe at a number 100, 120, who knows, right? Like, this is such a competitive topic that I just never expected. Like, there was no expectations, but yet I spent 22 hours writing, optimizing, making sure it passes my SEO Press. By the way, I am an affiliate of SEO Press. Super easy to use on your WordPress website. My link is in the description there. So please get that. I would love it if you would install that on your WordPress site. If you need our help, just contact me, and our virtual assistants can do it for you and help you understand it all, etc. But SEO Press has some great free tutorials for you to use on YouTube about how to use their product. I want my circle to be green. So, and then I use Link Whisper for my internal linking. Now, for the SEO, so I got my SEO to my green light. I did everything I was supposed to do. It took me 22 hours. Remember, no expectations of it ever ranking. Why would I do that? Why would I spend that much time? And just think if that was traded into money and I could trust somebody else to do it. So I can train my virtual assistants to do everything except for even going into the MLS, like they can do the whole thing. That would be $220 for that post. Not, or a little bit more because we're $11 an hour for that. But that's not bad. You know, if you wanted to hire me to do it, it would be a heck of a lot more because I'm not doing it for less than $2,900 for that page. I'm just not. That's just not going to happen. But why did I do that? Why did I go through that pain and that time? And, you know, 2 days, one day I stayed up until 4 a.m. doing this, right? Well, because you need topical authority. You need that umbrella. That's the top of my umbrella. That's that very, you know, the little stick that sticks out of the umbrella. That's the page that I just talked about. That's the page. So that page, that umbrella, is my topical authority, the top of the topical authority. It's your main pillar post page. So it doesn't matter if it ever ranks or not. Google needs to know that it's there. So you definitely need to get it indexed, and you can just fetch Google to do that. I had Google index that page. It was like, first I waited 2 days without asking Google to index it, but my homepage isn't even done. I started thinking, gee, I haven't done my homepage, haven't done my about page. These are all super important for EAT and YMYL. Haven't done even my disclaimers yet. I don't think it's ever going to find, the Google bots aren't going to find this. How in the world would they even find the page if I didn't ask them to come and fetch it? So after a couple days, I said, well, let me go and fetch it. So I checked the index. Google checked it, said it was great, gave me the green light, and said it would be indexed within the next 28 hours. I go back in there 12 hours later, and it's indexed. And not only was it indexed, it was number 17. Like, that's like page 2. If now Google doesn't do like the pages like that, it just keeps scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It doesn't make you click to next page. So as I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled, I see it at number 17. So if it was in pages, that would be number 3 on page 2. So not bad at all. Whenever I see something on page 2, so if anytime I see something between 10 and 20, I know we can get it up to 9, at least to 9. So it gives me a lot of hope. And I thought, wow, I am shocked. I am totally, totally shocked. Now, was that all AI content? No, it wasn't. A lot of it was AI content, the regular stuff I needed to write. But it used my name, my son's name, our team name, our phone numbers in there, our call to actions. Every few hundred words, we've got a call to action. I did a lot of went in to fix things and do the correct market, the numbers, you know, how much an average home costs in Utah County right now. I had to go and do all that manually. And then I had to put it all together, which takes time. So just imagine if you just had the AI do it and then you go and post it, that's one thing. But even if you take that AI document and put it into a Google document, you've still got to go through it and do things. And those things don't listen to people who say it only takes 15 minutes to do it. If it's 6,000 words, it takes you a heck of a lot longer than 15 minutes. I don't know where they're coming from when they say that. It's just not humanly possible for you or a VA. So there's my rant and rave about how can people do things so quickly. It's just not going to work. Now, after that Utah County Homes for Sale one, then underneath that, you're going to have all the different main bigger cities. So I'm going to have Provo, I have Lehigh, I have Springville, I have Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs. What else is here? Orem. So I have the different cities lined up. Well, I live in Provo, so it makes sense. Plus I have a whole site just about living in Provo, not having to do with real estate that I went over with you. So it makes sense that I would do that one first. Also, Provo is the #1 city that people move to. It's the most, it just won a ton of awards. And of course I've done videos on those. It's just huge right now. And that hugeness, okay, that hugeness is very important because of the searches on Google for it. So the next, this is still part of the Topical Authority. So that's your umbrella. And I have a video all about that. So my next pillar post, it's still going to be a pillar post. Why? Because it's too competitive to be anything less than a pillar post. Provo homes, Provo, Utah homes for sale. Again, Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, all that stuff, right? I'm not going to be up in those top 5 or 6. Not going to happen. I write the article and I did the same format that I just told you. I don't need to repeat it because it's the same exact way I did the first pillar post. So I do this entire pillar post, same format. It didn't take me 22 hours this time. It took me about, 18 or 19 hours. And what I did was then I did a whole thing, made sure my green light was there. I used my neuron writer. Remember, I'm an affiliate to a lot of these. I do get a very small, teeny tiny commission if you use the products that I link to in my description area. But neuron writer, absolutely love it. It's so cheap. It's only like $80 for a license, and you can do so much. It's like one time fee of $80. Like that's what 4 months of ChatGPT. It's an amazing product. It's like no one talks about it. He doesn't advertise it a lot, so a lot of people don't know about it. It's not famous, but it sure beats a lot of the famous writers out there, because it gives you your score that you have to beat, and it tells you your NLP and your LSI, all these things that you need to know in SEO. It does it almost automatically for you. So I did that article. I had Google check it. They gave me the green light. I asked it to fetch it, to index it. It was indexed within a couple of hours. Not only that, but within 24 hours, I was ranked number 13 already. I mean, I'm just shocked. I've dropped a couple. I think I'm down to like 17. It'll do that. It'll fluctuate. But I don't have any backlinks to these. So once I start getting backlinks from other sites and other places, these will start to shoot up that ranking. So again, that was another page that I didn't think might not even rank. Now the next one I know will rank. So that because I studied my market, I studied my competitors, and I know where the holes are. That's the one thing you want to find when you're doing a niche. When you start your website, yes, you have to write those broad topics for the Topical Authority, and also so you don't get pigeonholed, but make sure that you find the holes. What is it that other people are not writing about it? Who can you dominate above? That's number 1 on Google. And a lot of times that's going to be your PAA posts, which we call People Also Ask. We do tons of those, but we flip that around 180 degrees. First, we do our pillar posts, create our categories. I only like to start with 3 categories, but you do your categories. You do your pillar posts, which is going to be 1 per category. And then after you have your categories done, then you can start doing your PAA posts, because those are what are going to rank right away. Low search volume, low competition. But if you do a ton, if you do 100 posts with 0 search even, I love to do 0 search volume posts, because nobody else is going to do them. So if I do them, guess what? Once people start searching, I'm already there. I watch my whole story about the short sale, amazing short sale websites I've done, and the amazing money I made doing short sales, being the broker, being the realtor for people who had to short sell their homes. All of that from the internet. Like, you need to watch that video about that, because it'll help you to understand this whole thing about the 0 search volume and low competition keywords. Now, but that's later on down the road. First, you've got to do this. So the next one I'm going to do is the neighborhoods in Provo. So this is going to take a long time, and I am going to give this to the VAs to do once I have a template for each of these. So I'm creating my template, and you can use these templates as well. If you're a realtor that you want to have a real estate website, you can use my templates if you hire us to do all the work for you for that, whether or not you hire me or the virtual assistants. So if you hire the virtual assistants, they have permission to use my templates as long as you're not in my competing markets. Now, next one, I live in a community. I live in it's not an HOA, so I shouldn't say that. I live in a neighborhood, and the neighborhood is called Indian Hills. And it is one of the most desirable places to live in Provo. We're up in the mountains. You can see in the background how beautiful everything is. Here, no, I don't need to show you. I was going to say, let me show you the front. But I'm facing a huge mountain right now that's just like in my backyard, basically. This is a very popular place to live as well. When homes go on the market, they get sold right away. It's just very few homes go on the market, that kind of thing. But since I live here, I walk the neighborhood. I know all my neighbors. I take videos and photos all the time in my neighborhoods. I ordered a drone footage. This is huge again for Google Images. I ordered a guy to come out and do drone footage of the neighborhood, and then a bunch of beautiful still shots from the drone. All of those are considered original content that's going to go on Indian Hills Provo Homes for Sale. That page is the next one I'm going to make. And the reason I'm going to make that next is because we're going to run Google Ads to it. So once it's all set up, I will connect a funnel to it that goes directly into our KV Core lead generation system. And all that process there, we're going to run the Google Ads to that, and we will get calls because nobody else can do what I can do. Nobody else I already checked. No other realtor can do this in my market, and they're not doing it. And so this is going to be an amazing lead generation tool that I can turn on right away. But before I can turn it on, I do have to finish my homepage because Google's going to check my homepage. They're going to check my about page before they approve the ads. They're going to check my contact page. So I need to have in my disclaimers, of course. And so I'm going to have all of that stuff in order. Oh, I just remembered I got to put my fair housing symbol on all of those pages as well. So I'll put that in my footer. So there's a lot of things I have to do, to make that work. It's going to be so exciting. And now I'm going to go through all of those. Then I'm going to do things like what other kind of searches are there that are very popular. So one of the ones at Provo that's very popular is multi-family homes for sale. So that people want to come here and buy duplexes because we have two huge universities right in our town. We have Brigham Young University and we have Utah Valley University. So altogether there's around 65,000 students. I think even more, actually. Tons of students here. It's beautiful. And the parents will come and want to buy a home so that their kids can dorm and can be in one side and they can rent out the other side. So that happens a lot. So a lot of people look for duplexes, triplexes. They look for apartment buildings or homes where you have an upstairs and a separate downstairs, and this downstairs is zoned for a second living facility. I don't know I forgot the word that's called. But anyway, so you'd have like an outdoor exit entrance that you can go in and out of, so you're not going through somebody else's house to get to the downstairs. So those are considered walkout basements with a separate entrance. As a lot of people call them mother-in-law quarters. Some people will build a house in their backyard that's a mother-in-law guest suite or something like that. A lot of people want those to Airbnb, but mostly it's for student housing to rent. So those are so I'm going to be writing. I already have all the keywords for that, done my keyword research for that. I already know what keywords they are. I've already had the AI write them. And of course, I have to fix them because, again, in the real estate niche, you cannot just let the AI write for you. It just doesn't work that way. So don't think that. So even if you hire us, just know this process, understand this all so that you're not having expectations that, number one, the VAs can't meet, that are unrealistic even for you, or maybe you don't think you're going to spend as much money on an article as you're going to end up spending. So those are things that you have to really think about, but also think about the reasons behind it all. PAA posts, you shouldn't have to spend 22 hours. You should only spend 3 or 4 hours writing them, another hour for images, and then another hour for SEO and linking. So you can probably get them done in, I would say, 8 to 9 hours for a PAA. Don't quote me on that yet because I haven't practiced one yet. And I want to practice one with all the new systems that we have in place for the new SEO rules that Google has for us. So those are very important things to remember. Now, if you're in another niche and it's not real estate, the same things apply. You've got to do your pillar posts, your main pillar post. Then you've got to do, so let's just say you're doing American Shorts hair cats. Your main pillar post is going to say all about American short hair cats. You're going to write a pillar post about that. spend your time and understand it's going to be really tough to beat people like Petco and PetSmart and Chewy, all those heavy duty players. Then after you write that, you're going to create the categories. So I suggest, you're going to create, you can ask Bard for the categories, and usually Bard's really good, much better than ChatGPT on the categories because it knows what Google's looking for. So it's going to tell you what your category pillar posts should be. So you're going to write one in each of those categories. So one could be the history of American short-tailed cats. One could be health. One could be nutrition. One could be diseases and ailments. So different kinds of posts. And then underneath those pillar posts, you're going to do all your PAA posts, which are going to be super easy to rank. And a niche like that is going to be much easier to rank. And even though the pet niche is super, super competitive, you still have to do quality content, but you're going to have less editing. You're going to have a lot more artwork to do if you don't have a cat. I really suggest you to get a cat. We take pictures of our cats every chance we get so that we can have original cat photos on all our cat sites. Let's say, let me think of another one. Let's say you have a business. Let's say you are a chiropractor. On a chiropractor website, again, you're going to have chiropractor in, and the main umbrella is going to be chiropractor in Wellington, Florida, for instance, because that's what I do. I do all the marketing for a chiropractor there. So his main umbrella of his page would be Wellington, Florida chiropractor, or chiropractor Florida in Wellington or something, because you're now looking for Google search, right? Local search. It's also going to be his brand name because he has to be branded, and especially to cover for EAT in a medical topic. Very difficult to rank for. Of course, he's number 1 and number 2 and number 3 for almost all keywords related to that area of people looking for a chiropractor. I have changed his business, basically. He has already told me that so many times. I have totally changed his business because he gets so much business from the internet, from the work that we do marketing for him. Now, underneath that, he's also an acupuncture. So we have 2 umbrellas. You can't connect those. So we have the chiropractic umbrella and we have the acupuncture umbrella. And then within those, we're going to do some categories. So one is going to be, back pain. One of ours is headaches. So back pain, headaches. So we have like that, and acupuncture would be like weight loss, headaches, things like that. So the different reasons, right? And then in there, so those are gonna be pillar posts. And then underneath there, you're gonna have your PAA posts, which are your response posts how do I choose a chiropractor? How do I know my chiropractor is not a quack? I mean, whatever kind of questions people ask on the internet, you're gonna answer all of those questions, right? I don't have time in this video because we're running late. I mean, this is like a 37-minute already, and I'm a talking head. I don't know how interesting I am to watch or for you to keep listening to. Hopefully I can turn this into a podcast maybe for our for our business channel. So that way you could just be listening. Well, actually you can just on YouTube, right? You could just be listening to this when because I wanted to go into the other ways that you need to work with Google, like you need to find how to get the traffic from Google. I'm going to just touch on a couple of them right now. I wrote an article on Medium, and I'm going to turn that article into a video. Hopefully, I don't know if I can do that next week or the week after, but it is all about Google Perspective. And it's a new feature. It's been out since like 2020, I think, but nobody really knew about it, which is with most of Google products. But it's getting a lot of traction now, and you can do really well by making sure you show up in perspectives, and you use perspectives to help you get traffic from Google. And there's a whole process to do around that I have, and we're creating the SOPs so that our VAs can do that for you. It's a big process, but it's really well worth getting that really good qualified leads and traffic. The next one is Google has Google, oh my gosh, now I can't remember. I just added it. I was just playing around with it today. Google News. Okay, so Google News is the other one that you want to pay attention to. And on Google News, you're going to find topics that are trending. You want to use Google Trends to find topics to cover. Now, I already went through this whole process of how you have to have your topical authority, how you have to have everything right to cover EAT. I have lots of videos on building EAT. Those are totally different subjects that you need to learn about and use on your website. But one of the things that is come up with Google is that you need to be writing things that have no search volume whatsoever, that are trending. And let me explain why. And the place you find those is on TikTok. So if you go to TikTok and you look in your market and you look in your niche on what is trending, okay, there are things that are trending that have not hit Google search yet. That's when you make the video about it. That's when you write the article about it. That's when you post it on your website under your news section or your updates section or your what's happening section category. You're going to put that in there. And even though nobody's searching for it today, a couple weeks from now, everybody's going to be searching. A lot of people will be searching for it. So that's what happens with the trends. Google Trends, you can find a lot of good information, but on TikTok is where the trends start. They don't start on Instagram. They start on TikTok, then they go to Instagram, then they go to Google search. YouTube is in there somewhere. But remember, they start over on TikTok. So that's where you need to be searching for trending topics. Because what Google expects is if you're a human being and you know, and to cover EAT, you have to be you have to have experience and you have to be expertise in your topic and in your niche, then wouldn't Google assume that you should know what's coming up in the market? So I was watching a YouTube video where the SEO guy was explaining this, and he was talking about on his website that he does tech stuff. So he has a website, he has a blog all about the tech. And he was on TikTok, there are a bunch of videos of people using those Apple, whatever they're called, you know, the Apple View. But when he went to go into Google Keyword Planner, which is one of the tools I teach you to use to do keyword research, there was zero volume. And when he went into Google Trends, it was zero because it had not hit Google yet. But he wrote all about it on his website, all about it, did videos, did it on his YouTube channel, everything, right? Linked it all properly. And then Google looks at that, and even though it's never been talked about, as soon as they do start searching, his site is who they send the traffic to. But not just that, it boosts him in the YMYL space and the EAT, because Google knows that if you know about a topic, that you're going to be writing about the stuff coming up. So those goggles, Google expects, if you're writing about Apple's products all day long, then why wouldn't you know about those, even if nobody else is searching it? Google already knows they exist. So yeah, the algorithm's going to make that connection with you. So make sure you're always on top of those trending topics. That's why I was so successful with the short sale niche. My husband and I generated more income than we were in the top 1% closers in, oops, sorry, my nose is itching, in 2007, 8, 9, and 10. And that's because I was way ahead of the curve. I was talking about things nobody else was talking about. And Google knew that, and they trusted us. We were the top. In fact, in those days, they only had Google Places instead of Google Business Profiles. And in those days, we even got awards from Google for being top 1% globally for our real estate company. Like, that's huge. And this is before Zillow was in existence. But this is huge stuff. So that's where I knew that I have that expertise and understand how to serve my clients. And our VAs know, because they get trained by me to work for you. If you want to save time and money, please contact us. Our phone number is right there in the description. You can also get our free 365 things you can delegate to a VA today. You can go to getitdoneformenow.com to get that. And that will help you. You just start looking at that list and say, okay, I'm delegating this today, this tomorrow, and you can delegate everything out to your virtual assistant. And I hope that's us. So thank you so much for watching, and until the next time.